What up, guys? Welcome to another AMA episode. We're going to be diving into just some stuff, some updates, and then getting to your questions that you've been leaving below. Wow, we restocked some stuff finally. Look, stuff has been selling out fast. I know that. Everybody knows it. We have restocked a bunch of flavors of electrolytes, lemon limes in stock, lemonade, peach. There's still some peach left. Go get those if you want to try them. Lychee should hit Prime like next week. I don't know why it hasn't hit Prime already. I sent Amazon 10,000 units. They're just taking their sweet time. Sometimes they have to put their special Amazon stickers on them. It is what it is, but keep an eye out for Lychee. And we restocked some of the tallow products as well. We are ramping up our tallow production. We haven't been able to keep up with the demand for our tallow production, and it is what it is. But recently, we put in these new machines that are massive. We had these other tallow machines. They were smaller. They could crank out a few thousand units. We need more. So we upped our machinery there. The quality stays the same. And we're actually making the quality of the beef, honey, and beeswax moisturizer better. We're just using a more filtered tallow there. So yeah, it's just like going to be, I'm stoked. I have the samples here. I've been using them. And then a full batch should be made soon and hit Amazon in a few weeks. The chapstick is back in stock. The bee and beef balm, these 4-packs. Look, we barely make any money on these. And if you want proof of that, we're selling them for about the same price as Burt's Bees, who is owned by Clorox, which is a multi-billion-dollar company. And we're selling our stuff for about the same price. I'm not really trying to make money on stuff like this. I'm like, if people can try a product like this and realize the benefits of beef tallow, they will spend money on other natural products, which, yeah, we can eventually make money on. So it's a longer game there. The Sun Balm we launched is the best priced beef tallow and non-nano zinc sun balm on the market, by far. There are other products like this. They usually sell for about $34, $38. This is $19.99, okay? And this is what I use. It's actually not sunny right now. I'm in San Diego, and it's not sunny, but whatever. So this right here, you take a small amount, you apply it to areas that you want, areas that are going to get sun, and it has non-nano zinc oxide and beef tallow. It's absolutely amazing. And then we just sent a new batch of our pre-workout. An all-natural pre-workout. L-citrulline, acetyl L-carnitine, alpha-GPC, electrolytes in there, Vasodrive AP. I've been taking a scoop of this before every single workout, getting insane pumps, and that leads me to my training now, where I'm at. So a couple weeks back, I tweaked my shoulder. It is what it is. I went to this place, the Stretch Effect in San Diego. Whenever I get injured, I'm like, okay, I need to dial in with somebody that looks at professional athletes, and this place does that. They do FRC, they do ART, like active release technique, they do corrective exercise. Most importantly, they work with athletes. Now, am I some pro athlete? No. But when you go somewhere where people are spending good money to fix their body, fix their injuries, that is what you want to do. And I need to tell you this. The traditional PT model, traditional physical therapy model is broken. If you just go to your normal doctor and you're like, oh, I've hurt my shoulder, and maybe your shoulder's not wrecked, it's something like a car accident thing, you're like, it just kind of keeps on hurting. They won't give you the same level of care that these private places do. So when you go to a place like the Stretch Effect, they do a full body assessment of your movement patterns. They're going to actually look at your tissue health, stuff like that, your internal, external rotation of your shoulder, your strength, your stability, your core's relationship with your shoulder. Tons of stuff that just those normal PTs just usually don't look at, man. So it's a bummer when I see friends or people I know get a little injury or have a nagging pain and they go the traditional route. Not saying it can't work, but dude, it's often really broken. Oftentimes they'll recommend surgery. I can't imagine how many little injuries I've had where if I went like the normal way, they would recommend surgery. And if I didn't know better, I'd probably have like a bunch of surgeries all over my body because I use my body a lot. So yeah, I've been doing that and now my shoulder's feeling great. So now I'm back to like heavier weight training. So what I'm doing to, people call it hybrid athlete. There's this whole trend of hybrid athletes. And I had Fonzie in and Noah Roulette in here, and people are giving Fonzie in a lot of hate lately, and the whole hybrid athlete community a bunch of hate. I don't understand why. I totally get where they're coming from. I guess you could consider me a hybrid athlete as somebody who does like to lift weights, and I do like bodybuilding, but I never like letting my cardio fall to the wayside. Now, I'm not one of these extreme people that's doing 50-mile runs like these guys are, but I cannot see the benefit health-wise to letting your cardio go stagnant in favor of bulking up. And a lot of traditional bodybuilders will do this. Now, I get if that's your sport, you're trying to do that. But most people watching this They're just into bodybuilding to look good and feel good and be healthy. So don't do that bulk where you let your cardio go to the wayside because you don't want to burn calories. It's really bad for your health overall. It's also just bad from a perspective of like, I don't know, this is why one of the reasons I train. Like, what if some shit goes down? What if you need your cardio? And in my life, does go down. We were surfing a few days ago and there was like pretty big rogue sets coming in, at least for me. Like it was like some 6, 7, 8 foot sets, just boom, boom. And you're going under those waves and you're getting worked. And then you come up and there's another wave, boom. And you have to hold your breath. You need cardio. And if I was doing a traditional bodybuilding bulk, I might have died out there. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been surfing a lot, been going to jiu-jitsu, been lifting weights. Those are pretty much the main 3 things that I do that are intense. I've been trying to get back into mountain biking more. We hit a ride a little bit ago, but I want to get back into that more and more because it's just really fun. So that's what I've been up to. Nutrition-wise, I've been doing the same thing. Most days look like this nutrition-wise. I wake up, I hydrate with water and electrolytes. That's the first thing I do. I'm not in some panic to eat right away, just hydration, mineralization. I get outside, and then I do my stretching routine. The stretching routine isn't just stretches. It's a combination of the corrective exercise I've been given to me by those Stretch Effect guys. It's a little bit of foam rolling, soft tissue work, some traditional yoga, stretches, breathing, and it just gets me centered for the day. And while I'm doing that, I'm hydrating. And then I like to have some bone broth usually. There's nothing that feels better to me than just getting fully mineralized and hydrated in the morning. Bone broth provides a lot of glycine, a lot of collagen. It does provide some protein. It provides a bunch of minerals. It's not going to have as much sodium, potassium, or magnesium as the electrolytes, but I'm getting both in my system. And then on an ideal day, I'm usually eating after that. So I like just hydrating and stretching in the morning. I don't like food first thing in the morning. I like to sort of let my body wake up and get it going. Of course, if I'm traveling or something different, I might throw in some food earlier. But then after that, I'm usually having eggs with some cheese. I'm other times having a protein shake. Those are like the most common 2 things that I have. Leftover food will sometimes be a thing. If I make like a big beef stew or something like that, I'll sometimes just have a little bit of leftover food. And I'm having a moderate size meal. 5 eggs with some cheese, a protein shake with 2 scoops of protein powder, some fruit in there, leftover food. And lately I've been messing around with taking our Santa Cruz Paleo pre-feast digestive enzymes before that meal. I find it really helps in my digestion, nutrient assimilation. We'll learn more about enzymes when we have Dr. Justin and Dr. Evan Brand in the studio here, which I'm really stoked about. You guys will see that content. And that's when I take my supplements as well. So I'm usually taking creatine then. I'm taking Food of the Gods. And I'm just getting ready for the day. And then I like to usually go work out or get some work done. And then I have lunch. Lunch is usually just meat, a small amount of fruit, maybe some veggies. That's it. It's relatively mostly protein. Like I'm totally fine just eating a steak and grazing on some fruit or something like that for lunch. I'm totally fine with that. Pre-workout, I like to have a piece of fruit with some honey, more electrolytes, scoop of our pre-workout, and then I go hit a hard workout. So that's, usually hours after I've digested that lunch meal. And then I hit a hard workout, man. I've been training hard. I've been loving it. Because by then I feel so energized, I feel fueled, and I just feel great going to the gym. And then after the workout, I'm not in some rush to hit my anabolic window and eat. If there's a big space in between dinner, let's say me and the boys are planning on getting some dinner or cooking up a steak at like 8, and I've finished my workout and it's 5, I'll come home and I'll have another protein shake. So I'm just having some protein, some berries in there as well. So I'm hitting my vitamin C, I'm hitting some fiber, polyphenols, antioxidants, some high quality grass-fed dairy in there as well. So I'm getting some of that calcium, some of that potassium from that. And yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm having some of that. Sometimes I'll throw some of our collagen-based protein, the beef isolate protein in there to get some of those beneficial collagen peptides for my skin, for my joints, all that. And then later is when I have what I like to refer to as a big meal. Because I'm very active, I can sort of eat as much as feels comfortable to me. Obviously, if you're cutting or trying to lower weight, we've done videos on how to lose weight, how to gain weight, pay attention to those principles. But my dinner, I'm going in. It's usually meat, potatoes, some fruits and veggies maybe. Lately, it's been meat, potatoes, and I use some of those fermented veggies, which I've shown in some of my videos. And that's just amazing because now I'm getting probiotics, prebiotics. I'm getting nutrients from the potatoes, carbohydrates, obviously, from the potatoes. Sometimes I'll do white rice instead of potatoes. And then my main thing in that is meat or fish. That's the big thing. So yeah, and then there's some cool places near here where we can get like seed oil free steak and potatoes. It's right near us. We've been going there a lot. Sometimes I'll do chicken thighs or the rice. That's where I'm having some of those meals that you'll see me cook on my social media. But that's really been the routine. After that, I wind down. If I'm still hungry or I want a dessert, it's a yogurt bowl. I can't get enough of Greek yogurt bowls. They're so good. And like after I ate last night, we were chilling. We were playing the Oregon Trail for some reason on PS5. We downloaded it. Do you guys remember that game, the Oregon Trail? It was so funny. Like it's such a stupid game, but we were just laughing, having a good time playing the Oregon Trail. We made our characters as us. I was like, oh, Joe got shot through the arm. Albert has dysentery. Like, what are we gonna do? So we were just messing around with that. And then I made a yogurt bowl, is the point there. So Greek yogurt, some frozen blueberries, some honey. I like to put an egg yolk in there. If you think that's weird, that's fine. It just adds creaminess and nutrition to that. And then if I want more protein, if I don't feel like I've hit my protein goal, scoop of protein powder in there. I usually just throw that in anyway because it just tastes amazing. And yeah, that's what I have for dessert. After that, I have some water, some magnesium, some deep sleep caps, which will come back. By the way, the deep sleep caps will be back in stock. We're actually just upping one of the ingredients in there and reformulating the label because of that. So you'll see when they're launched, they're going to be the same price. They're just going to be better. So I'm stoked on that. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. But a big meetup in San Diego is going to come July 14th, Sunday in San Diego at the Surf Lounge. And that's in La Jolla, like La Jolla, Pacific Beach area. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have free electrolytes for everybody who shows up. And it's going to be a good time. So now let's get into your questions. You've been leaving them below. Let's dive into them, and I'll answer what I can. Let's get it. Brendan, I was diagnosed with gastritis. He ate some spoiled food or something, and he's having some gastrointestinal issues. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Totally. So a while ago when I went to Mexico, this was years ago, I got norovirus. I was really sending it eating the street food. I was just going off, dude. Like it happens, and you get norovirus. It's very common and people just think of it as like bad food poisoning, right? When you talk to a functional medicine doctor, like the guys we will have in here, that's not really the case. These things can throw off your gut bacteria permanently if you don't do some underlying gut tests and really figure out stuff that's going on. Now you might be able to get back to just a baseline of health, but you should do something called the GI map test. If you look up GI map, they are a company where they send you a lab kit, and you usually have to have a functional medicine practitioner order it for you. So, I'm going to leave that up to you guys to find your own, people. I work with Dr. Justin and Dr. Evan Brand who will be in here, but I don't promote their stuff like, oh, go use them. Find whoever you want. But you basically mail in your stool to these labs, and they give you a full picture of what's going on in your gut. This is the future of medicine. They have been able to really figure out exactly what's happening in your gut. Do you have staph bacteria in your gut? Do you have too much bifidobacterium and too low of plantarum bacterium? Your bacteroideity level. Like all these things are crazy to look at some of these lab results. And you can really figure out that picture of what's going on in your gut. And if you work with somebody intelligent, they can tell you certain dietary protocols and supplements to knock down bad bacteria, bring up some of the good bacteria. And that's going to be really important. So if you want on a deep level of what you should do, and if you're having reoccurring gut issues or skin issues, this is something you should do, the GI map test. The unfortunate part about it, it's not that accessible. It's not that well known about. I mean, kind of, there's a lot of people doing it, but it's just going to be one of those things that in 10, 15 years, someone play this clip back and people will be like, oh my God, Brendan was talking about the GI map test 10 years ago. It is one of those things. And we'll talk about it more with Dr. Justin and Dr. Evan Brand when they are in here. Brendan, with some of your beef tallow products containing beeswax, how do you make it so it's not that hard texture? Well, yeah, it's a really good question because beeswax is a bit harder, okay? But we aren't using a full beeswax, ratio here. There's not a lot of beeswax in here. There is some, but there's not a lot. As far as the exact percentages, we could run an analysis, but we're talking probably about 5%, maybe 8% beeswax and 2% honey because we don't want the product to be sticky and we don't want it to be hard. It is still mostly beef tallow. Now, you can see the texture right there. I'll rub some into my neck. I've already put some on my face. It will rub in fully and it is not sticky. So what we have here is a little bit of beeswax and honey for two reasons. Beeswax helps lock in moisture and it's completely non-comedogenic. It is one of the best moisturizing ingredients. So when you put this on your face, it will help your face give that moisturized look and it will not clog your pores in any way, shape, or form. Some companies are also using synthetic beeswax, which is going to be made from some pretty nasty stuff. I'll do a post on it soon. But the honey in here is simply to give a bit of antimicrobial and antibacterial effects. Honey has also been studied with wound healing. And when we really look at acne and just skin blemishes, they do function like wounds. They need to be healed. And so honey can help with that. This product is still mostly beef tallow. Now, the ratio is different in our chapstick. Here, we're looking at more 40% beeswax. This is harder. It won't melt when it's left in your car, unless you boys in Arizona or something. I don't know what to tell y'all. Don't leave it in your car. But yeah, it gives a harder texture, which is really good for a lip balm. So yeah, I totally know what you mean by just like beeswax products, but these aren't pure beeswax products, so try them out. Brendan, what would you do if you had dandruff? Totally. So the first thing I would do is stop using shampoo every day. I mean, stop using shampoo in general. I don't use shampoo that often. When I do, it's the Organic Jaguar natural shampoo, code Santa Cruz. And I'll do that sometimes after jujitsu or something if I'm like, oh, a lot of sweat on me, something like that. Other people sweat, honestly. What you want to do is get a shower filter, or I use the Organic Jaguar as well. Use any good shower filter that filters out chlorine is what we're looking at here. Because when the scalp dries, it is going to compensate by creating, moisture, basically. Your scalp wants to find a balance. And there can be some bad bacteria on your scalp. And if you're stripping away your body's natural bacteria, natural oils, that can cause dandruff. So what I would do is do the water only using a shower filter for a few weeks. Now, if that doesn't help it, you need to probably look at the actual microbiome of your scalp. You might need to re-inoculate that microbiome. I've heard of people doing like yogurt on their hair, and you probably will smell odd for a few days. So just beware of that, or buzz your hair so it doesn't smell that much. But you do have like the microbiome on your skin. And we're learning more about this and its effects with different dermatological conditions, dandruff being one of them. But honestly, for most people, if they just stop using shampoo so often and they just go towards water, clean up your diet and gut health a little bit, that should do the trick. Brendan, I get awful bug bites when I'm out fishing. Is there anything natural that I can do to prevent this, or maybe stop the itching once it does happen? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's going to be extremely effective if you're just like fishing in places where there's a bunch of mosquitoes, okay? It is what it is. What I would honestly do is throw on a long sleeve shirt, like you should definitely do that. There is some evidence that tea tree oil and garlic can maybe prevent against some mosquito bites, but there isn't really anything concrete there. As far as what to do after, what I like doing with bug bites, I have one right here. You can see, spider bite. I like to take a little bit of our chapstick and just rub it right on. That's what I do. That's going to provide some soothing for that. Honey is also a good thing. You put some honey on for a little bit and then wash it off. That can help. But yeah, other than that, aloe vera is also really interesting. Aloe vera can definitely help. But yeah, just throw on a long sleeve. Brennan, I was wondering if drinking too many electrolytes can lead to any bad effects, any toxic effects. He says he's a pretty active person. He's drinking 1 to 2 scoops per day. At that level, absolutely not. You can drink 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scoops of this daily. Want to know why? Well, they've done studies on this. One of the studies I reference is an NFL player study where they actually analyze NFL players and analyze how much sweat they're losing, one, and then the different minerals in that sweat. When looking at sodium, those players were losing minimum 3 grams in a practice, maximum 30 grams. Okay, the average in multiple studies is around 7 to 8 grams of sodium that people are losing in hard training sessions. So if you're active, especially as it gets these hotter temperatures, now keep in mind you do lose electrolytes when it's cold as well through your urine, you excrete them. But as we get into these hot temperatures and you're sweating, yes, you can have multiple scoops of electrolytes. The reason I don't make videos being like, you should have 5 scoops of electrolytes, it just comes off as like, oh, I'm trying to tell people to use a bunch of our product. Start with 1 scoop, maybe 2 scoops, see how you feel. Personally, yes, I'm using 4 to 5 scoops per day. I run the company. I have unlimited supply. So you'll never see me making a video saying you should use 5 scoops per day, but people do that and they have success with it. So you're probably losing multiple grams of sodium. You don't need to worry about that. Read The Salt Fix by Dr. James DiNicolantonio if you are concerned still about salt. Healthy people that are engaged in working out or athletic endeavors are not going to have issues with salt. And no, there's not enough magnesium or potassium in there to cause any issues. So, do your thing, talk to your doctor, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I use multiple scoops of these every single day. This guy's saying, Brandon, I'm a broke college student. What are some good brands of deodorant, toothpaste, some of those personal care items? Totally, I got you. So for face care, I'm definitely going to go with beef tallow. Beef tallow is extremely affordable. You can get our plain beef tallow for $18. You can get the moisturizer for $20. Like, it's literally the best thing to go with. Now, as far as toothpaste goes, I use a brand called Boka, B-O-K-A. Why I use that is Fluoride, I'm not a big fan of at all. I'm not a fan of fluoride. And what fluoride does for the teeth is it helps with remineralization, supposedly. You can look into that. Here's some dentists debate that if you really want to nerd out on it. But the point being, it might have other deleterious health effects. Boca toothpaste has something called non-nanohydroxyapatite. This has been used for a long time. It's not some like weird thing. It's approved by many dentists. It actually has been used in Japan for a very long time. They don't really do fluoridated toothpaste like Western countries do. Other Western countries do. So that's what I use. Boca, it's available. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. For deodorants, I use the organic Jaguar deodorant. You can use the code Santa Cruz. There's also a brand called Pretty Frank, which has really decent ingredients. We're working on formulating our own with Santa Cruz Paleo, but I'll wait till we have something perfect and that really works. We're going to do rigorous testing on that. You can actually send deodorants off to testing labs to do like pretty significant tests on them to actually see if they will work. And then in addition, we will just do the testing of having a bunch of people use it and give reports and, we'll tweak stuff, all that. In terms of general personal care products, you can go the more expensive route and find a brand like Organic Jaguar and use some of that stuff. It's really not that expensive when you look into it. But if you want more affordable stuff, Dr. Bronner's is a great soap. I have some in my bathroom right there, and I use that all the time. So Dr. Bronner's, totally good option. And then for like hair care and stuff like that, again, I have Organic Jaguar. But if you're looking for something more budget, there is that brand Native out there. Now, they do have some fragrance in their product, and it doesn't specify whether it's natural or artificial. So my hunch is that it's artificial, because why would you not want to highlight that it's natural if it's natural fragrance? So Native is a decent brand because they sell it everywhere and it's very affordable. So that's just definitely something to consider. There's also brands like Dr. Squatch that have pretty good ingredients. They also have some questionable ingredients, but overall, if you're just trying to push the needle forward and save money, those brands might be good options for you. Brendan, can Cookie King lock in? They haven't really heard too much about him lately. They've kind of seen him fall off. They haven't seen like his videos or us working out together. Guys, listen, I talk to Cookie King a pretty decent amount, okay? I text with him, I call him, and yeah, he obviously has severe issues locking in, eating well, working out. He seems to go in phases. Now, the thing I think is affecting him the most is sleep. Guys, you aren't going to be able to lock in if you cannot get decent sleep. Doesn't need to be perfect. I have like an intense sleep schedule where I have like, certain things I like to do in my nighttime routine. You don't need all that, but you need to get some sleep. I think that his biggest issue is consuming too much amounts of caffeine late in the day and then taking multiple types of stimulants. There is no way you're going to be able to get your body into deep stages of rest and have a good circadian rhythm with that. All that said, I'm trying to get him out here. I'm in San Diego for a bit. I'm trying to get him out here to hit some workouts, eat some good food, all that. So he's working on it. The other thing is I don't know why he hasn't launched these protein cookies that I helped him find the manufacturer. I helped him with everything there. And I don't want one penny from him. I just want him to launch these protein cookies because they're great. He has everything designed. I don't know why he hasn't launched them yet. So yeah, can he lock in? I don't know. Are you guys losing faith in him? I sort of am, but I still hope he can. I don't just give up on people. So if he wants to come out here and try to lock in, he can. But look, here's the thing, guys. We live a certain lifestyle down here, okay? It is wake up, eat good food, go surf, go work out, go to jiu-jitsu. If you can't hang in that lifestyle, then we just don't spend as much time with you. And that's not a mean thing. That's not like we don't like you. It's just what we do every day. So if you are part of those activities and can do those things, then you will be hanging out with us. And some people are just savages. My videographer is sitting right there. He just picked up surfing. He's paddling out in pretty big surf with us, getting demolished in the waves. And guess what? He keeps on paddling out. He keeps on doing it. So that's just what it is. If he was just like, I just don't want to do it, then we would spend less time because I'm still going to go surf. So that's the deal with Cookie King. I'm living my life. I'm doing my thing. I'm not going to reach back to pick somebody up. I will give them a space next to me to walk with me in this life, and I will help them out. But if they don't want to show up, not much I can do. Brendan, what is your opinion on flat feet? This guy says he has flat feet. He has a bunch of foot issues. Totally. There are so many exercises you can do for your feet. Look, our feet are meant to like articulate and move and like be like able to like I'm picking up a chapstick right now with my feet like that. Okay. When we look at our ancestors' feet, they splayed out way, way more than our feet now. The first step is spending more time barefoot. It is hilarious to me to see how weak some people's feet are because they don't spend any time barefoot. Now, I'm not one of these weirdos who's like walking barefoot into a Walmart. Austin, I'm not coming at you, Austin. My buddy Austin, Organic Tarzan, he'd be doing that. But but I spend a lot of time barefoot when it's appropriate, and like I can walk over rocks barefoot. My feet are not like so sensitive. Like people just have these pussy ass feet nowadays where they like literally like, oh my god, it hurts. Like, what are you talking about? So start spending more time barefoot. Look up foot exercises. There is one exercise that is amazing and was mind blowing for me to do years ago, where you put your foot flat on the ground and you just try to move your big toe. Just try to lift it up. You can try this right now. You keep all your other toes down and you just try to lift your big toe. The mind-muscle connection there for most people is just not there. And then you try to keep your big toe down and you try to raise your other toes and then put them down one by one. When I first started doing those, I was downright frightened that my brain had lost connection to those toes. They're in my body, right? They're there. I have them, but I couldn't articulate each one individually. So now I work on that, something I do when I'm in the sauna, and now I can articulate each one. And I feel like it's helped my balance and athletic performance and foot health overall. You can also roll out the bottom of your foot with a lacrosse ball. Start lifting weights barefoot. So I'm not going to go to the gym barefoot again, guys. I wear my Nikes. On upper body days, I'm not really too worried about this. But on lower body days, what I do is on some leg movements, I will take my shoes off. So on the hack squat, I'll put my shoes to the side and I will hack squat because I like to be able to feel my feet engage, okay? I'm not too worried about on the quad extension machine or the hamstring extension or the hamstring curl, but on certain things, I will take those shoes off and get to work. Brendan, what are your thoughts on people who say eating too much natural sugar from fruit and honey is bad? Well, I actually sort of agree with that. It depends on what level we're talking about, what your activity level is, how much fruit and honey you're eating. Fruit and honey honey makes up a small part of my diet. We're talking maybe 2 tablespoons per day on an active day. It's not that much honey that I'm consuming. Okay, and I don't think it would be really advisable to just go off and eat a bunch of honey. It is still sugar. Yes, it is natural sugar with amazing compounds in it that, stripped processed sugar doesn't have. And we're learning more about honey. And I actually want to have a honey expert on. There's this guy who talks about the different types of sugar in honey and some of the studies on them and the prebiotic effects and antioxidant effects. Pretty cool stuff. Anti-allergy effects. There's been some cool studies on honey and allergies that there definitely aren't on sugar. So something's going on with honey. But that said, you don't just want to eat as much of it as possible. And fruit, I eat a moderate amount. I don't feel good if I'm eating tons and tons and tons of fruit. There definitely is a balance that you have to find. And if you're more active, when my activity level goes up, if I do some endurance thing, I'll eat more fruit and I'll have more honey. So find that and use it as a tool. So yeah, I mean, they're right. If you're just eating a bunch of fruit and honey, not prioritizing protein and healthy fats, that's not a good thing. Brendan, what mattress toppers do you recommend? I'm trying to dial in my sleep in college. What should I be looking for? So what you want to do, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, sleep on the floor. Like Liver King was sleeping on the floor and stuff. I just don't agree with that, okay? Now, I don't really like when my mattress is too soft. There is a test you can do to find out if your mattress is too soft, okay? And this is from Kelly Starrett, who wrote the book, The Supple Leopard, and he's just, great guy. You lie down flat on your back on your mattress. If you feel like you have to cross your legs or stagger your hips in any way after lying there for a few minutes, I think in the book he says 2 to 3 minutes, then your mattress is basically too soft. You're probably putting yourself into extension because it's soft, right? Or flexion like this, and your body is having to compensate by feeling the need to cross your legs. Okay, that's a little test you can do right there. So you find the right firmness for your mattress, and then you make sure your mattress doesn't have any toxic chemicals in it. Polyester. I would not want to sleep in polyester. There are polyester sheets out there you got to be careful of. Try to get cotton when you can. Latex is another natural material, so don't be afraid of latex, okay? It comes from the rubber tree. It's actually a tree. It sounds so unnatural, but it isn't, okay? So look into that, and hopefully that benefits you. Brendan, do you ever plan on dropping a nootropic? Hey, shout out to this one dude on IG, Madone. I think that's how you say his name. He's been asking me for a nootropic forever. So yes, we do plan on eventually formulating a nootropic. Obviously, the pre-workout has some nootropic-like effects with ingredients like alpha-GPC, acetyl-L-carnitine. Some of those blood flow ingredients are not only good for the muscle, vasodrive AP, L-citrulline, not only good for your muscles, there is blood flow to your brain, and from your brain out to your muscles, to your gut. Okay, so this does have a lot of focus benefits, but I would be totally down to explore a nootropic. I think what I would want to do is create a nootropic that is relaxing and calming, not a very stimulant-based nootropic, because I feel like a lot of people have that, you know, just overstimulation and unfocused sort of feeling because of just everything, screens, phones. So yeah, any ideas that you guys have below, anything you'd want to see with that, let me know. Brendan, have you ever heard of alpha-toxin in peanut butter or day-old rice, and should I be worried about it? You definitely don't want to be eating old rice. This is just a fact. You can look into this. This isn't one of those things where it's like a food safety panic things. I do feel like people get a little panicky about some food safety stuff. Like I'm eating raw eggs sometimes or like putting them in my shake and people freak out. Look into that a bit. That's all I'm saying. Old rice can absolutely be devastating. So that is something that can quickly develop some bacteria and make you really ill. So you need to store your rice in your fridge after it cools. Don't leave that shit out. And don't be scared to put it in your fridge because you can make some really good fried rice with it later. As far as alpha-toxin and peanut butter, there are these different mycotoxins. We actually just got a full mycotoxin lab report for electrolytes. They're mycotoxin free. And yeah, we lab tested that batch for mycotoxins and there's nothing in there. That was exciting. Mycotoxins are these group of toxins. Alpha-toxin is a mycotoxin. And maybe you've heard of Dave Asprey popularize this by saying all coffee has mycotoxins. It's kind of bullshit in a way. Peanut butter is commonly affected by this alpha-toxin. Would I be so worried about this that I would never consume peanut butter? Or if you enjoy it and you feel good eating it, that you should throw it away because of concerns about alpha-toxin? No. I would try to get high-quality peanut butter. I would try to get one without added ingredients. And if you want to look up mycotoxins, you can, but it's not something I would panic about. Like the whole, you need mycotoxin-free coffee and stuff. It's cool. It's not that big of an issue. Brendan, does wearing polyester swim trunks release microplastics, and what should I wear instead? Yes, is the answer to that question. The swim trunks that are made with polyester are going to release microplastics and probably have other harmful, things with them. But listen, what else are you going to wear when you go swim? Like I wear polyester shorts when I go to jiu-jitsu because I'm training and it's sweaty and like it is what it is. I wear a wetsuit when I go surf. When you are chilling, you should be wearing cotton boxers and you should be sleeping in cotton sheets or silk if you can get those. That's what you should be doing. You don't need to go so far to try to dial in every area if it sacrifices performance so much. Okay, so like Paul Saldino said he was surfing in cotton shorts. That's just like the risk reward there, especially if like all your friends are bullying you because you're wearing cotton shorts. Look, a little bit of polyester, it is what it is. It's in our lives, okay? So yeah, try to minimize it. Like I don't really feel like there's a reason to be wearing polyester underwear, like boxers and stuff like that. There's no reason. But when there really isn't a good alternative out there, because there isn't for swim trunks, rock that polyester, dude. Brendan, my electrolytes got like hard. They caked up. What happened? So we don't put anti-caking agents in these. And so if you get moisture in there, they can get hard. They're still totally fine. Sometimes like we'll have a bunch of friends, like we were on that river rafting trip. This is a great example. And so we're like hitting the electrolytes. There's water going everywhere. We knew they'd get caked up. That's not a problem at all. You can just open them. You can take the scooper and sort of scratch like that. You can break some up and then shake it in there. You could pour the whole thing out and break it up and put it back in there. It's going to be totally fine. This is just salt, potassium, magnesium, okay? So the reason like some of these other electrolyte companies go with those packets like that is to prevent that. However, that creates a lot of waste. It creates more plastic exposure because they're using those soft plastics. Hard plastics leach less toxic compounds from plastic, as we know. So I'm not really a fan of those packets, but that is why many of those companies do that because they don't want to have a product that gets hardened up, or they fill it with anti-caking agents, which have been shown potentially to be disruptive to gut health, and that makes a lot of sense to me because what is natural for something to happen? Caking happens. It's like normal. So we want no caking agents in there. If they harden up, it means you got moisture in there, and they're still totally usable. But yeah, just keep them dry off your hands, and then grab the scooper, put some electrolytes in, and enjoy. All right, guys, that is it for this week's AMA. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming. We have 2 functional medicine doctors getting here, I think, on Monday, and we are going to dive into one of the most important episodes ever. Let me know topics you want to hear from them below. We have Dr. Justin and Dr. Evan Brand arriving, and they are experts in gut health, skin health, tons of stuff. And I'm so excited to talk to them, to ask them specific things, specific protocols people can do. We're just going to get a really good picture of what is going on in the human body. What are some things we can do to benefit our health? And we're just going to get nitty and gritty there. So if you like that stuff, you will love that episode when it comes out. Leave your questions for them below, and then leave your questions for me for the next AMA. I love y'all. Let's get it. SantaCruzPaleo.com, code HEALTHY if you want to save. Oh, and Santa Cruz merch. We did launch t-shirts. We have these available in black, army green, and the like sandstone color. Absolutely love them, and they're $18 cotton t-shirt. We're not trying to make money on them. So go to SantaCruzMerch.com for those. Appreciate you guys. Peace.